All right, man. Detroit Lions players were complaining that the Panthers field, caused issues, caused playing issues. Now, I don't know if other people around the league complain about playing with the Panthers on their field, but that was the excuse yesterday that the field conditions in Carolina. They were saying the players were saying they didn't actually think it was actually legal. Now, could that have been a valid excuse for them to go out there and lose? I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds like excuses to me, but I haven't heard anybody else complain about it. But then again, I don't follow the Panthers. I don't follow the Panthers like that. So I can't really tell you who complaining about it, who not complaining about it. But they're an outdoor team with turf. And it's been a big debate around the National Football League about turf turf fields. You know, so but hey, it says Frank Ragnar has been slowed by excruciating toe pain all year. He still made the Pro Bowl because, well, he's Frank Ragnar, but he still hasn't gotten in a full week of practice all year because of the toe pain. Sometimes he leaves the game in the boot after playing 60 minutes on a frozen field that was trashed by the Detroit Lions players following 37-23 losses on Saturday in Carolina. Ragnar spent so much time with the training staff that uh, he didn't limp to the bus until the locker room was nearly empty. Um, they said, "quote Yeah, the field was tough." Ragnar told him live, "I don't want to make excuses, but it was pretty hard, man. This is tough to brace with the toe and everything. It was tough." He wasn't alone. The Lions were hammered by 15 points in Carolina, so obviously the conditions did not impact the result of the game. Uh, but that didn't change the condition of the field. Hold on, it says the Lions were having about 15 points in Carolina, so the field conditions did not impact the result. I don't ain't what they saying. I had to make sure I read that right. But it doesn't change the conditions of the field, which the Lions player said was below NFL standards. That was the most concrete field ever been on in my life. Rookie pass rusher. Ed Hudson told him live, "I didn't think that was actually legal to play on warming up. You're just trying to turn the corner, and literally in warm-ups, I fell in my first one-on-one rep right on my face. I don't know if there is a standards you have to meet for turf, but I think it got better later in the game, so it wasn't too much of a factor. But I mean, it was very concrete, like for sure." So the Panthers used natural grass at Bank of America Stadium for years, but elected to install artificial turf last year to help accommodate the addition of the Charlotte Football Club, the MLS expansion team that now plays its games here. So then Arctic-like conditions swept across the United States over the weekend. The temperatures plunged into the teens during warm-ups. The wind chill checked around -2 as the players began taking the field. And while temps did rise before game time to around 20, it was still the coldest home game in Panthers history. And the field firmed up unlike anything Lions players have ever seen. Said, "quote I thought the field conditions were below NFL standard, especially specifically pregame." Quarterback Jared Goff said, "I know it warm up a bit as the game went on, but I don't know what the deal is here. They need to make the turf not feel like cement. I don't know why that is. You said it was the coldest game here, so maybe something to do with it. It got better as the game went on, but in pre-games, it was in no condition to be played on. Happy guys came out of this one relatively injury-free. Running back Jamal Williams did leave the game with a lower body injury, but he told him live he was fine as he was laboring towards the bus after the game. Otherwise, the Lions players avoided injury. He said they did play especially well in the brutal conditions. Golf manager thought, I don't want to hear nothing about no numbers. I don't want to hear nothing about them Pat Stafford numbers. So to me, it sounds like they're making the excuse. I ain't the smartest man in the world. I ain't the wisest man in the world. But to me, it sounds like they're making excuses. And that could be true. Because obviously, if you put your finger on something with the Lions, it wasn't right yesterday. So I'm wondering why me personally, I just thought it was the cold. So, but so be it. Everybody need to lose. Everything that happened yesterday, they need to happen, and they couldn't take advantage of it. That's SOL to me. And maybe that was why the footing was a little slower out there and all that stuff. I just attribute it to the cold. I just attribute it to the cold. I just attribute that to I thought it was a cold and it was a little bit, they wasn't ready to deal with that. But then again, Carolina is more of a warm weather place too, so they really ain't no cold team neither. You think about the teams they go outdoors and play. It's the Panthers and Tampa Bay, the two only outdoor teams in the NFC South. And they all Southern teams. New Orleans Dome, Atlanta Dome. They both Southern. And then Tampa and Carolina, outside in the South. So they really, they an outdoor team. They deal with rain and stuff of that nature too. So, they probably more prepared to play in the elements than we are. You know. But I mean, sometimes an excuse is valid. Maybe they come out next week for Chicago and show us a fluke and rock Chicago's world. Maybe it's the trend and they just coming back down to earth. Maybe that's what the case is. I couldn't tell you, but only time will tell. You know, only time will tell. But I just thought they just got out physical, and maybe the footing was the reason the run game opened up the way it was. They should have refused to take the field. Shit. You know, but I mean, can't say too much of can't say too much more about it. You know, I just told y'all the best you really can hope for was that they carry that momentum, in the next season. Because you remember last year, that momentum that they had last season, it didn't carry. You got to understand, it didn't carry. Start off 1-6 after that most people categorize that as a hot finish. That's what most people categorize that as. So I don't know exactly what's truly what's truly the contributor. And sometimes you have bad nights. Sometimes you have off nights. Michael Jordan had them. Barry Bonds had them. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Ali had bad nights. You name them. LeBron James, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. It happens. And maybe you just got to attribute that to it was just a bad game. And maybe it was the field conditions they weren't prepared for. I remember Sean Payton, man. They used to go up. They went to Lambeau a couple years ago. Obviously, not this year because he's not coaching. I went to Lambeau a couple years ago, and I forget he asked one of the players. Well, I guess that used to play up there. I forget exactly. What the deal was, but he asked one of the players that had a lot of expertise playing up there, and he said there was a particular shoe cleat that they needed to wear to be successful up there. And a lot of players complained about wearing this particular cleat up there in Lambeau, and he accommodated them with foot massages after the game. You know what I'm saying? Because the cleat was uncomfortable, but that was the best. That was the best. Tread for their feet to be successful up there in Green Bay. That's what was best for them. That's what's best for them. So I don't know, but let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. All my stuff is inside. The link tree is the first link in the description. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. One time for the one time. Peace.